All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich Chalenza. Thanks for checking out my channel. So what I want to get into today is shoes. I was thinking of doing shoes and boots, but I'm just going to do something quick on shoes. Because I think a lot of people spend a lot of money on shoes, too much money on shoes, especially women. I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but I know a lot of dudes too that spend a lot of money on shoes, including dress and gym shoes. And boots, I should say as well. And, you know, I am 100% down with that. I'm going to tell you. But I made a lot of mistakes regarding that as well when I was younger, buying a ton of shoes. It almost became a part of my identity. Was my shoes, my cologne, more was better. But, you know, if you have a lot of shoes in your closet and you're not wearing those shoes that often, I talk about this sometimes, it's dead inventory. Now, don't get me wrong, you probably have certain shoes for certain occasions. So say, for instance, I have a patent leather brand new pair of shoes that I only wear to black tie affairs, let's just say. Those are set for those. I also may have some other shoes that I kind of wear regarding certain things when I travel, for instance, because I have to have a certain, I want a certain heel and I want a certain, rubber on the bottom. It could be boots or shoes. So I use those, for instance, when I go to, say, Chicago, New York, Toronto, or same with a certain type of boot when I travel to this part of Canada, hypothetically, or it could be Minnesota, hypothetically. Again, Chicago, Boston, because it warrants different types of shoes. But if you're somebody out there who continuously keeps buying a lot of shoes and you're in debt on your credit card, or you're struggling making car payments, you're renting all these other things, but you keep buying shoes, you're kind of an asshole. And I get a lot of us want to wear different shoes because it makes a different statement, right? I mean, it is what it is. And it's kind of cool to wear different shoes or have the option. But I discuss this a lot. You got to realize a lot of things that you're buying, you lose so much value in. Now, that doesn't mean all the shoes you have I'm devaluing. I don't know what your shoes are or what your wardrobe is. But used shoes, for the most part, even if you bring them in the resale or consignment, you're not going to get that much money for them unless they're extremely mint. And even then, they're still used shoes. What I want to kind of teach you is kind of to save money when buying a wardrobe or accessories, and taking that money and maybe investing it in other things. Because when I was younger, I spent it on a ton of shit like what I'm talking about now. Shoes, where you got 30 pairs of shoes, and for the most part, you only wear 3 or 4 of them, consistently, and the other ones are just sitting in there. So I'm sitting on thousands of dollars just sitting in there doing what? Just wasting away. And a lot of times, too, with shoes, I'm going to tell you, it's never ending. It's an addiction because there's obviously hundreds of thousands of different styles out there, men and women, right? That goes for gym shoes, dress shoes, boots, everything. There's always a better looking shoe. There's always a newer style. But here's the other thing. I'm not telling you to buy cheap shoes either, just so we're clear. I want you to buy less shoes, if you're a millionaire, you got money, you can buy whatever the hell you want to buy. But if you don't, less shoes, really stylized, that are good. Instead of maybe a lot of shoes that are going to either put you in debt, that are higher end, or a bunch of shitty shoes that are destroying your feet. Because I see a lot of people doing that as well. They're like kind of collectors, which is, again, fine. You can, if you want to buy cheap shoes all the time, I don't care where you're buying them. But definitely pay attention to your feet, because a lot of times shitty shoes are, in the long term, going to take a toll on your feet. Not always, but a lot of them do. Especially if you start wearing certain types of boots. And again, that may not affect you now, especially when you're younger. But as you get older, I'm telling you. So you're better off buying a really good, durable shoe, or a few really nice looking durable shoes, than a bunch of shitty ones again. Now, I'm just going to give you my opinion. You could be like, you're whack. But I tell people, for the most part, start off with the standards, but that are very stylized, that go with everything. I know we love all wacky. I used to love whacked out shoes. I used to get these shoes. I used to get my shoes at Aerosmith downtown Chicago. I had all these different styles all over the place. I'd even go to stores that were in Chicago that pimps would shop at. And also all these very unique stores that carried all types of men's shoes that I never seen anywhere else. My father would shop at those stores as well. My father still collects a lot of shoes. He has a lot of them that he held on to from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. He's still buying shoes. It's funny because when I'm with him, he's still buying shoes. And I'm like, I ain't blowing the bread on that. I already got enough shoes. I got actually too many shoes as it is. I only wear so many, but he still loves buying shoes. And if that's your thing, God bless you again. But if you can't afford it, keep thinking about it. But back to, what was I saying with those shoes? Getting the shoes at Aerosmith, yeah. Going back to the basics, I always love a black shoe, okay? Because one, it will go with everything. I talk about that when it comes to sweaters and V-necks and white shirts. But I'm always trying to find pieces. I'm trying to find less pieces that work with everything that are awesome, if that makes sense. I am exhausted to a certain degree that I need 30 pairs of shoes to match all these different outfits. I want to downsize. I want to minimize. It helps me when I travel. I can pick things easily, a lot easier. Also, I can maintain them better, I think, too. Cleaning them, not having a bunch of shoes just getting, I can't say dry rotted, but just getting dustier and them fading a lot of times and just not maintaining them. But I like a solid black shoe and boots. I just brought a new pair of shoes and boots for the winter. And it was something neither one of these shoes I ever purchased before, this style. And even my girlfriend was like, wow, that's really interesting. I've only worn one of them once. I was supposed to travel all winter, and with COVID and the pandemic, I didn't travel at all. So I kind of got, one's a mid kind of boot and one's a full boot, because I was spending so much time in Canada, and I was planning on going there a lot more. But again, sticking with black or a dark blue. Now, I've also had every color shoe, I swear, that is known to man to a certain... I know I'm exaggerating, but maybe not green. Well, yeah, I have green crocodile and alligator, whatever. Again, buying shoes that, again, if you can't afford a lot of shoes, let's minimize this and let's get something that works with your jeans. Gray or black jeans, if you got those. Dress pants, where we can not only wear them casually, we can also wear them with dress clothes, even a suit possibly. You know, and I know a lot of guys now are wearing gym shoes where you can kind of cross over. If that's your thing, God bless you. That's just not my thing. But again, finding shoes, and I'm just going to tell you, one of the best places I think to find great shoes affordably is Nordstrom's rack. Nordstrom's in general, great shoes. Same with Neiman Marcus. Same with a lot of higher end, Prada's, Ferragamo, Versace. There's so many different brands out there that got really extraordinary shoes. Some are so unique, you can only find in their boutique stores and stuff. But if you have them, again, the money to spend $800, $1,000 and up on shoes and boots, go for it. But a lot of people can't. Now, I talk a lot about resale and wholesale and Goodwill. The one thing I don't really dig is used shoes. I don't want to put my feet into where another dude was wearing those shoes for X amount of days, weeks, months. I don't care. That's not my thing. But a lot of times when you go to a resale consignment store, they have shoes that are brand new. Now, I don't know where the hell they get them. I don't know if dudes, if they, through a divorce, the woman brings them in, or a guy buys them, he never wears them, or he wears them once. All you got to do is look at the sole of them, you know what I mean, and check them out to see. But a lot of times there's great deals. It's hard to find your size. So if you have a local consignment resale store, I'd either look online, or I would give them your name. And just tell them anytime, a shoe comes in, give me a call, or call them weekly and say, hey, any new shoes in size 10, whatever, black, they'll tell you. You could save a tremendous amount of money, especially on higher end shoes. A lot of times, even if they're new, they'll be half what you're paying new or even less. And sometimes you can even barter with them. You may be able to swipe some things out or cut a deal. That's really one of the ways to go. And I think overall, and I'm going to probably do a lot of videos on shoes, the thing you got to do regarding your shoes too, if you're if you got a lot of shoes and they look shitty, you're going through a lot of shoes, you're probably not maintaining them correctly. You're not putting, something on it to protect from certain weather conditions. You may even be not polishing them enough. Just not, you may be wearing the wrong type of shoe again in the wrong climate. And I've done that as well. And where it's a new shoe and then after a week or two, it looks destroyed. These are things you really got to think about. You got to really take care of what you got. A lot of times, especially if you don't have money to buy a lot of certain things. But you also got to understand you just got to maintain certain things, because if you don't, you know what I mean? Who else is going to? And a shoe is constantly being beat up. I mean, if you think about it, especially you live in a major city, all the different weather conditions, again, the rain, the puddles, the snow, the salt, it's constantly just stepping in and the wind blowing and just getting destroyed. Every few days you want to take it, clean it, polish it. It goes a long way. And I am going to wrap it up with this. If you have some shoes that may look like they're shitty, or they're like, wow, they're really worn out, I should throw these out. You may consider, especially if they fit really well, you may consider taking them to a shoe store and saying, hey, can you polish these up professionally and give them back to me? It may be worth the $10, $15. And when you get them back a lot of times, you'd be shocked at how nice they look again. I'm not saying they look brand new, but you may be able to get another 6 months or a year out of them, where before you were just going to throw them away or just go buy another pair and spend $100, $200, whatever the case may be. But if to have them professional clean, especially the sides, really get in there deep, clean the leather, or just sometimes we get shoe shine, say in an airport, hypothetically, or somewhere else, and it goes a long way. I'm telling you, a lot of times they're only $10 or $15. You get your shoe polished, you're going to be shocked sometimes on how good it looks. I'm not kidding. But sometimes those are kind of quickies. But if you bring it to a shoe store where they can really spend the time to really clean it up, and they'll knock it out of the park, and sometimes it's just well worth the money. It's almost like when you dry clean your clothes. You could clean your clothes all day and they look a certain way. You take them to a dry cleaner, you pick them up, right? I'm not saying they look brand new, but they look pretty damn mint, right? So something to think about as well. So that's all I'm going to really talk about shoes today. But if you want, check out some of my other videos. I've been doing a lot of things on shirts, shorts, and pants, and vests, and sport coats, leather coats, suits. I'm doing a lot of different videos regarding fashion, and I'm doing some on hygiene and grooming as well. I did one regarding beards. I even did a crazy one regarding me trying to tell dudes how to shower correctly, because I don't think a lot of them do. I think I called it Why Do Men Stink? So you might want to check those out if you kind of get a kick out of what I'm saying, at least. I have a website, richchalenza.com, Mastering Self-Confidence. I have that as well. I try to help men master their self-confidence. I touch on a lot of things, relationships, how to meet the woman of your dreams. What else? Fashion, wardrobe, fitness. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you got any questions, hit me up, comments. And if you get a chance, subscribe. All right? Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.